Hello, Tansi, bonjour, good day there, folks. My name is Arcand, world champion hoop dancer. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of me sharing some hoop dance indigenous knowledge today for you. So now we're broadcasting from the beautiful Okanagan territory, also known as the Syilx Nation. I am a guest here on this land. As well, my daughter's from this territory, so I kind of have a connection here. So that's why I'm here today, broadcasting for you right next to the beautiful Mission Creek. What a beautiful place to be sharing some indigenous knowledge with you today. So now I'm going to share the 13th hoop lesson today. So again, my book is called 13 Hoops, and this chapter I would be talking mostly about what it takes to become a master or a world champion, not only in hoop dancing, but whatever you do. So you can become a master in anything. It takes up to 10,000 hours to become a master at anything you do. You know, whether you want to be a chef or whether you want to be a teacher, doctor, lawyer. Well, doctor probably takes a little bit more than 10,000 hours, but you get my point. So for hoop dancing, I literally invested a large part of my life into it. Like, I've been doing it for over 30 years now, and I remember back in the early days I would practice for 12 to 13 hours a day, practicing my craft, training and everything. I would wake up in the morning and that'd be the first thing I do is grab a hoop and start playing around with it, practicing it, teaching myself different moves, teaching myself different techniques, going for that early morning jog and training my lungs and my endurance and everything like that, because it takes a lot to be a good hoop dancer and it takes a lot to be a master at hoop dancing. And I've achieved that. I've achieved that to the level 3 times. I've won the world championships, and there was a time in my life where I thought that was going to be impossible, because when I first started going to the world championships, I seen how good they were and how amazing they were at hoop dancing. And there's like no way I thought I was ever going to be that good. I thought I was good before, but when I went there, I was like, wow, these guys are like another level. So that's the thing about the Herd Museum World Hoop Dance Contest dancing community. There's a lot of dancers that really dedicate their lives, and it's part of our culture, right? It's part of our everyday living and lifestyle as hoop dancers. So for me, I've been training, like even today, I was running up a mountain and running the trail. I made sure to run uphill and do like a 20-minute jog. Now, do I have to do that? Not really, but if I want to stay in shape and I want to have the endurance to do hoop dancing, to be able to do some of the tricks that I do as a hoop dancer, then yeah, I have to have the agility, the endurance, and the movement and the strength to be able to pull that off for my particular style. Because hoop dancers come in all shapes and sizes, you know, because there's some hoop dancers that are a little bigger than I am, and there's some that are a little smaller than I am, and we come in all shapes and sizes and from different tribes across North America. So we all kind of have our own way of doing it, but we're all connected in that circle one way or another. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and share that and kind of break that down for you. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to break down the 13th hoop, or the 13th moon. And that's what this book is about my 13 hoops, but also about the connection to the 13 moons, which later on, I think I'm going to do a second book where I focus more on the moon cycle and the knowledge and the teachings from that, which I have yet to learn to the level of mastery. And I won't be sharing it until I've mastered it, because, well, I'm not a moon master yet, but, you know, in my elder years, I'm sure I'll get there, because that's the level of following the medicine wheel and the circle. Because the medicine wheel, we have 4 parts. The medicine wheel represents 4 parts of us. first and foremost, represents for the emotional part of ourselves, the physical part of ourselves, the mental part of ourselves, and the spiritual part of ourselves. So those 4 parts represents for a human being. It represents for the 4 seasons, the 4 directions of Mother Earth. It represents for the 4 colors of Mother Earth. And it just keeps going and growing, and there's a lot to be taught within that. So the whole point behind the medicine wheel is to learn balance. So balance is really important. So you can't be off center in that medicine wheel. You kind of have to try your best to center it out and strengthen those things about you to center yourself out. So that's what I thought I would mention about that. Now the hoop dance itself, they say it's a dance that helps restore balance and harmony in the world, and that's what the hoop itself represents. Represents that continuous flow of energy that represents for balance and harmony in the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my hoops like I do in the hoop dance. And even when I place my hoops on the ground, when I set them up, they're set up a certain way to be symbolic and meaningful to what I'm doing in the dance as the dancer performing the hoop dance. So I just thought I would mention that even the way that I set them up has significance and meaning. Once in a while I do it without any purpose or meaning. Sometimes I just throw my hoops down, and no, not throw them down, but I mean just lay them down any old way and just dance freestyle. Alright, so I'm going to lay these hoops out the best way I can in this terrain here. So I'm putting them in a circle, surrounding myself, and enclosing myself in this circle, the circle of hoops. So in a way, this is my own little sacred circle, and then I have the one in the middle. So if you ever see me do my presentations at your venues, at your schools, at your conferences, or whatever, a festival, I'll always set up my 13 hoops like this, always in a circle surrounding, and then I'll put myself in the center of the circle to represent for that balance. So I have 12 on the outside and the one in the middle. And all together that represents for the 13 moons, because one of the first moves I do is that vertical spin on how the hoop spins around, just like the moon is spinning around the earth in a way, and the earth is spinning around the sun. We're doing that momentum, and that momentum is really important, because momentum in life, it means a lot of things. It means that things are moving. It means that you're going places. It means that things are moving. It represents for energy. Momentum is energy, and the energy creates momentum. So it's just that constant back and forth of energies. So that's what that represents to me when I break it down. So I'm going to go through all the hoops now and show you like a quick demonstration of what it looks like. So I won't be doing much dancing because this is too uneven terrain. So I'll just kind of tap to the beat here. And again, the hoop dance is always with that 1-2 step. That's the basic step of our hoop dance. So it's right, left, and 1-2 step, and then we dance the hoop dance, right? And do all our tricks with the hoop dance, right? All the tricks I've shared with you guys. I haven't shared some of them. So these are all the cool tricks you could do. Alright, now I always try to incorporate the next move into the next move. I'm picking up the hoop and getting into the next move. There we go. Picking up that hoop. There's 2. Alright. And we shift this off to the other side. And I've showed you guys a lot of these moves in previous lessons. And again, the late, great Nakota Lawrence, his move with exchanging the hoops back and forth like that. That's Nakota style, man. Every time I do that move, I think about him. All right, now we're gonna go into the third hoop. So again, we're gonna pick up this hoop, incorporate it into the dance, and flip it up. Then we're into the next move, which is a little baby eagle. Or you could flip it down like this and make it into a bumblebee. Call this the bumblebee, like that. And then the kids, I always tell them, look out for Mickey Mouse. You're gonna see Mickey Mouse in the hoop dance. When the kids see this, they're like, oh, there's Mickey Mouse right there. And again, this is my buddy Sage Romero. This move came from him. He's a very creative, expressive hoop dancer. If you ever watched Sage Romero dance, he's got a lot of like power moves, like strength and like intent. You know, it's almost like the Maoris when they dance. I think that's kind of what might have influenced Sage, seeing the Maoris or those New Zealanders, the way that they do their fire dance, like they stomp hard and they do the haka. Like Sage kind of reminds me of that style a little bit. Sorry, Sage, if you're seeing this, I don't mean no insult by that, but but you know what I mean, you know, because Sage and I go way back to the Spain days when we both were hoop dancers in Spain, and we shared some of these teachings. And actually, Sage taught a lot of people too over the years. He taught some things to James, also known as Notorious Cree, James Jones, and Angela Gladue. I forgot her hip hop name, but so that's kind of a little bit about that style. So here's one of my original moves. I call this the buffalo, little buffalo, you know, because I trot around with it. So that's a little buffalo move. And this one, I don't have a name for it. Sometimes it looks like a peacock, sometimes it looks like an upside down rainbow, but I don't really have a name for that. And even this move, when I do this move, I don't really have a name for it. I just do it, you know. And I'm pretty sure Laurie Begay was one of the originators of this move, this flower move, this flower design. But a lot of hoop dancers do it, you know. Munte Sinqua does this move. A lot of the younger dancers will do this move. And, you know, and this is my only input and difference. I'm the only one that does this because I just did this one. Represents for the 4 directions, right? And then here's another one of my moves, where we go like this, like this, like this, and up, and make the world. There you go, there's the world. Now we go into the 5th move. So the 5th move, this one I do while I'm spinning the hoops. And then I got 2 different versions of it. So the first version I showed you in a previous video on the 5 hoop one. So this is the other one where I'm just going to spin it on my ankle. Oops, a little off balance here. So this is for you advanced students out there. You can get this going. This is a really good move to know. Spin it on the ankle and then get the 4 going. Hard to do on this terrain. Hard to do in any terrain. And then from here you go to the flower on the ground, like that. And we go into this design and then pop. That's my own signature transition move. That a lot of hoop dancers kind of borrow from all of our styles and they kind of make their own style. But a lot of them, it's all about being smooth with the transitions and going from one transition to the next. Smooth, you know. There was one time in the hoop dancing world that I was known as the smoothest routine. Not to brag or anything, but I mean, there was a point in time where hoop dancing was kind of in a stagnation for a while. But I think once we got got the smoothness back into the hoop dancing and more innovations. I think that's what made it popular again with the young people. People like Nakota Lawrence and myself, we were innovators in bringing some very innovative moves into the hoop dance world. You know, because before that there was just Derek Davis and, you know, Quentin Pipestem and a few others, and Daniel Tramper. He was another smooth guy. Like, he didn't have a very long routine, but it was very smooth. Like his transitions, like he didn't do very complicated moves, but they were very smooth. Like he was fast too, as a fancy dancer, hey? Like champion too, hey? He's from Oklahoma. Well, he's from Cherokee, North Carolina, or the Cherokee area. I don't know if he's Cherokee or Ho-Chunk or something like that, but definitely a different nation. And he's a cool guy, Daniel Tramper. He beat me one year in the World Championships, but the year after he won, that's when I won my first one. And it was so close. I thought I was gonna get it. So I took 3 seconds in a row. And then I took 3 first places in a row. And then after that, I got close, but I never did win again. And I'm okay with that, you know. Now I'm getting into the senior division at the World Championships, because there's an older category, and that's where I'm at now, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because now I'm getting to the point in my life where in our culture, it teaches us about the circle, right? As I mentioned earlier with the medicine wheel teachings. So the circle has 4 parts. It also represents for the 4 stages of life. So the first part is childhood. The second part is adolescence. The third part is adulthood. And then the 4th part is elderhood. In order to live a complete life, you have to go through those 4 stages in life. Not everybody gets to make it all the way through. And that's the sad part that's happening in our communities. I just had a cousin pass on to the spirit world. Some people only make it to the 3rd or the 2nd, you know. So all we can pray for is to be grateful for every day that we do get, because we're never guaranteed tomorrow. And that's what I want to say about that. So anyways, I got a couple minutes left. I want to jump through this now with the hoops. So here's the 6 hoop part. So this is all part of the 13 hoop routine, and the routine that I've been doing for many years. My son does this routine. He does his own version of it, of course. But this is one of the routines that won me the World Championships, with the 13 hoops, with the constant flow of hoops and designs. So I'm getting close now to the end part. So here's the 6 hoop bottom part. Now I have lots of other moves that I didn't share, just because I'm focused in on the 13 hoops book. So I'm just gonna grab these hoops really quick just to get them set up so I can get this part done. So typically what I do for here is I do the double spin, where I go high and low. So this takes the technique in which I shared in the first hoop lesson, but I didn't really share this technique because this one's a little bit harder, because you're doing double with the hoops. And you got to be able to turn in a circle with one. I might have shared a little bit about that technique earlier, but that's what I typically do with that. And it's hard to do on this uneven ground here. And then here's this, doing the 4 directions. And then last but not least, we got these. So I do a couple of variations of this. So here's the first one. The hoops are fanned out nicely. And then from here, put this one in my mouth. And I take it out, and think, oh yeah, this one actually drops to the ground. And then I pick up this one. Then I flip this guy over. This is kind of a bonus one that I didn't show anybody. I might have shown it previously, but I've done this. This is an iconic move because I've been in pictures with this move, and you know, it looks really deadly. This is like a flower design. It's like a really cool flower design that I do with 6 hoops. And then from here, this is where I make the transitions smooth. Like, I don't have to pick up additional hoops. I just grab the ones from my body and I body weave from my legs to the top. And that's my style. That's what I'm known for doing that. For transitioning from one hoop to the next, one formation to the next. And here's my final pose. And here's a couple of extra things that I do with the hoops. So if I have enough time, I'll do a series of things. I'll show this move where I do these 4 together with the 4, and then I'll do the double twist, and I'll do this one, and I'll do this one, and then I go back to here and do that one and finish it off. So sometimes down south, and this is like my finishing move right here. It's the hoop man. All right. So there you go. There's the 13 hoop sequence. And I've kind of broke it down for you all throughout these lessons, just to show you what hoop dancing is, some of the meanings and significance of it. At the World Championships and other places, some people will say, oh, that's a snowman, because I'm from Canada, right? They're making a Canadian joke. But it doesn't bother me because, yeah, they're right. Yeah, it could be a snowman. Could be. It is part of our culture. Like, who's to say that it's not indigenous to make a snowman? I'm sure our indigenous people have made all kinds of snow creatures of sorts. But to me, this represents for 2 worlds. I always tell in my speeches, it represents for this one right here is the foundation of who we are as people, our culture, our community, our family. Out here, this upper world, that's what holds up this upper world. That's our dreams, our aspirations, our goals, our future. And that's what it is. That's what it means. So in order to get anywhere in life, we have to walk in 2 worlds. We have to walk in balance with those 2 worlds, with our family and then the other world, right? So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I went a little bit longer on this lesson, but this was the 13th hoop, the 13th chapter of my book, and a continuation of the things that I've been sharing with all the lessons combined. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your time, and enjoy, and we'll see you next time. We don't have a word for goodbye in our language because it's our belief that we'll see each other somewhere in this lifetime or the next lifetime. So in the Cree language, our word that we say is Examaga, which is okay, that's good for now. Or we'll just say Kipakawa Pumpkin, which means we'll see you again. Peace out.